As global fraud now surges, a new survey reveals how Australian banks are turning the tide with behavioural biometrics and smarter detection strategies. Let's head to Brisbane now. We're joined by Richard Booth from BioCatch. Richard, great to have you on Ticker. Talk to us about the Australian banks, what they're actually doing differently that's cutting scam losses by about a quarter.
Sure thing. So in the last few years, we've seen a widespread adoption of behavioural biometrics and behavioural intelligence across the banking sector. As fraud and scams have continued to evolve and deploying more sophisticated techniques to try and scam victims out of their precious and hard-earned money, the banks have had to adapt, and deploying more sophisticated tools like behavioural insights has really worked a treat. We've seen over the last couple of years the losses associated with fraud and scams in Australia specifically drop by almost 25%.
So give us an idea about the biometrics, as you say, and just getting that understanding of how it works. Where does it come from? What are the banks actually doing that's differently now to what they used to do?
So if you think of behavioral insights as kind of like a CCTV camera for your digital platform. So when you're logging into mobile banking or online banking, the banks need a way to better understand what you're doing on their site, on their mobile banking application, and track that behavior across different payments and sessions that you might be conducting. This understanding of your location, the devices that you use, and the behavior that you exhibit helps him to better understand when it's you performing the activities or perhaps a criminal that has inadvertently or intentionally compromised your credentials and been able to log into your account. The other thing is that when you're potentially a scam victim, you may be being coached or coerced over the phone by a scammer. You exhibit different behavioral traits when making a payment as part of a scam than you would normally making a payment to someone that you know or a business that you owe money to.
And so how has targeting money laundering beyond individual accounts helped to disrupt wider criminal networks? We know that Australia's casinos have been the target of money laundering investigations, but how is it going with the banks?
Sure. So we know from research that the most sophisticated criminal networks are never an individual acting alone. Typically, they would be, organized crime, multiple mule accounts being used to launder money, and increasingly we're seeing some of those mule accounts shifting from individual retail banking accounts into more corporate and commercial banking accounts, making them more difficult to detect. But what banks are doing very successfully is using network analysis and understanding payments across the payments ecosystem and networks of criminals to better take down these criminal gangs and fighting that money laundering by looking at a more networked approach.
So talk to us about BioCatch's tech here and I guess the new BioCatch Trust Network. How's it helping the banks?
Yeah, so BioCatch has been operating in Australia since 2018, and we're very proud that 9 of the 10 largest banks in Australia all use our technology, and they're using it very effectively. Most notably, last year in November, we announced the launch of our Trust Network. So this is the opportunity to the 5 founding members to instantly share details of scams, mule accounts and fraud victims in real time at the point of payment. The theory at the time was that we could block transactions to and from accounts before the payment actually occurs. And initial results in the first 6 months since we launched have been very promising. And we're looking this year to now expand the network membership to other banks in our customer group.
Yeah, fantastic to hear. So 90% of leaders are calling for stronger regulation, right?
Yeah, I think that there's lots of different countries around the world trying different things with different regulatory policies coming out. I think Australia's on the same page, trying to find the right balance between protecting consumers while still making it not intrusive from a privacy perspective. I think for me, regulation is all about helping banks, equipping the industry, including non-banking entities like telcos and social media companies, to share the necessary intelligence across the ecosystem in such a way that still protects the consumer from their privacy rights, but also creates insights and availability of data to stop criminals before scams and money laundering gets out of hand.
Obviously, the big question, what changes would have the biggest impact? I think you've done a good job of answering that. People want to get in touch with you to find out more about what you guys are doing. How can they?
Yeah, so simply on our website, biocatch.com, or through LinkedIn, just search for BioCatch on LinkedIn, and there's plenty of us there ready to take your questions. But yeah, we're looking forward to the next chapter in our journey, bringing on more customers, more of the banks into the trust framework, and hoping to expand the results that we're providing, protecting everyday Aussies from criminals.
Yeah, I tell you what, Richard, it is a time for trust, isn't it? With everything going on and looking at that Qantas hack over the past week as well. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.